And what would you say, how did the COVID-19 change the landscape of pornography? I
Well,
mean, it's obvious, right?
it was the
More
greatest
people were
thing that
home.
could happen for the porn companies because
Hmm.
all of a sudden you are stuck at home. And for people who are younger, who go out and date or who are, socially active, now everybody's stuck at home. You also, and you see the numbers of people who are consuming pornography in some countries, places like Italy and Spain and France, the year to year usage from before the pandemic and after more than doubled. It
Wow.
wasn't that high in the United States, but in the United States, we saw something else. And I wrote a book. My third book that I wrote is looking at pornography and its growth during the pandemic online. I don't think that the ultimate legacy of the pandemic is going to be what it did to people watching porn. I believe it's going to be about people making pornography.
Mm.
Because when we went into lockdown, who got furloughed from their jobs first? Service workers,
Yes.
waiters, waitresses, retail workers, hostesses, this kind of thing where you have an interact. Usually you're young, you have an interaction with the public, you have to care about your appearance. And when all of these types of things shut down, many of these people had nowhere to turn, nowhere to
Hmm.
look for the kind of money they needed to make. And again, because of the taboos surrounding sex and nudity having really eased over the last couple decades, a lot of these people turn to the internet
Hmm.
to start doing do it yourself porn. And when I was writing my book at the very beginning, I talked to several models who went onto OnlyFans or onto these cam sites who said, I'm only doing this for the money. I'm only doing this while I have to. I'm going to try to keep it PG or maybe PG 13 rated. I just need to make some money. And inevitably, when I got back to them 6 months later, as I was finishing the book and doing the final bit of research, so many of them, it wasn't about the money anymore.
Hmm.
So many, especially some of the younger women, that's where I saw this the most,
Wow.
was I can't get a date in real life, but suddenly I have men from all over the world telling me how
Wow.
special and how beautiful I am. I had there
Tension
was
and
there was one woman who was talking about how she'd only been on 6 or 7 dates in her life, but she'd had 3 men propose to her since she started doing this. And what I heard from these women, and to be fair, there were a few men too, what I heard from some of these models who only joined the online porn world because of the pandemic, what I heard was they were doing it for that hit of dopamine, for that hit of
wow.
oxytocin, for all the reasons that people are consuming porn. Many of them were making pornography. And many of them were honest with me that this I'm not making as much money as I thought. The average OnlyFans model only makes $180 a month. They were doing it for different reasons, for the high, for the attention. And I really wonder about some of these people, where are they still going to be doing this in 10 or 15 or 20 years? Not because they like the $200 that comes during the month, but because they crave and need that attention so much.
Yeah.
We don't know what the fallout is going to be with these people
Hmm.
because it's only been a few years since the pandemic reared its ugly head. We're going to have to wait another 10, 15, 20 years and see what the true fallout is. But I wonder if we're going to see a world where there are 50-year-old cam models who are doing this, barely making money, but just doing this because they so deeply need the attention. They need the positive reinforcement from the few people who are giving it to them. Um,
Yeah.
that's what
Wow.
I ultimately worry about the most. I think that